Hi there, I'm Ken Lammers. Let's talk soccer. And right now is kind of an interesting time in soccer because the lower level leagues, the leagues that would be about what we would call rookie level, right? If we were talking about baseball, um, are out there and they are having their playoffs right now. So if you look at, or at least some of them are. So if you look at the National Premier Soccer League over the last week or so, in the Northeast conferences, the North New York Cosmos B, which is and the FC Motown played. Kind of expected New York Cosmos B to win this because kind of thought that they were a repository for where New York Cosmos were kind of trying to hide some of their talent or keep some of their talent until such time as they decide whether they get the NASL up running again. But if so, didn't do them any good. FC Motown won through 3-2. The other playoff in the West, Orange County FC, not to be confused with Orange County SC. FC is in the NPSL, SC is in the USL, but FC played FCM Portland, and that ended up with a win on Portland's side in an obviously huge defensive struggle where Portland beat Orange County 6-4. So that means that on the 28th of July at 7:30, FC Motown and FCM Portland are going to play for their slot in the championship game. On the other side of the bracket, in the South, Miami FC, another team, Miami FC 2, I should say, another team that's a kind of holdover from the NASL days, that is probably has some talent hidden there in the hopes that the NASL will come back. They played the Little Rock Rangers, which may be my favorite name for a team this year that I've heard in soccer. But having a good name didn't do Little Rock any good. They still lost to Miami FC. Miami FC won 3-0. On the other part of this bracket, the Midwest, AFC Ann Arbor and Duluth FC played, and they went to overtime, tied 3-3, and Duluth won in the first overtime. So Duluth moves on. They will be playing on the 28th of July at 7 p.m. to see who goes to the championship game. It'll be Miami FC and Duluth FC. Okay, in the PDL, they're having their playoffs as well. They have in the East, New York Red Bulls under 23 played Reading United AC, and Reading United AC won 2-1. They're moving on. In the South, Cima Aguilas. Sorry, my Spanish is not existent. And the Villages SC played. The Villages, they were tied going into overtime, and Villages SC won in overtime 2-1. And so that means on the 28th of July 2018 at 7 p.m., directly in competition with the NPSL, but the PDL will be having their semifinal, and it'll be Reading United AC versus the Villages SC. So that might be interesting to watch. In the Central Division, the Des Moines Menaces, Des Moines Menaces were playing Chicago FC United. Yes, there is another team in Chicago if you're interested and don't want to go watch the MLS team. Not like, from what I hear, there aren't any seats available with the MLS team. You can go, but Chicago FC United won 1-0 against the Menace. And in the West, Calgary Foothills FC played FC Tucson. And if you saw me, a year and a half ago, do my logo breakdown for soccer, and I thought that FC Tucson had probably the best logo in the country. Of course, that doesn't do them any good when they're playoffs. You have to play, and Calgary beat FC Tucson 2-0. This means that on the 28th of July 2018 at 9 p.m., the Chicago FC United is going to be playing Calgary Foothills FC for their half of the championship, and so they'll be moving on there. These are the leagues that have playoffs going on. lots of fun there. I think a lot of this is going to be on the internet. If you want to watch it streaming, I would recommend it. And you know, kind of look at the lower leagues, see how they're doing. Yeah, you're not going to see the most crisp play in the world. You're seeing rookie level players and lower level players really starting out, and it's fun to watch. I recommend it. And what else are you doing on a Saturday night? Come on now. Uh, Go watch some soccer on the internet. The other lower level league, the UPSL, doesn't seem to be in their playoffs yet, and even when they go into their playoffs, they only really have conference playoffs. They don't have a league playoff, as best I can tell. So, and they got about 9 gazillion teams broken around all over the place. So, nothing going on there to really report. Okay, so then let's move on to the really important league in the United States. The one that wins us national championships and has the best players in the world and all that in it. I am, of course, talking about the NWSL, National Women's Soccer League, and the women are out there kicking butt and taking names, obviously. Especially if they're playing on the North Carolina Courage team. North Carolina Courage is the only team in National Women's Soccer League that has a winning record. They're at 14-5. They have 46 points, which makes them, pound for pound, the best soccer team in the United States. Seattle Reign are the number 2 team. They've won 8 of their 18 games. Portland Thorns are the number 3 team, which moves them up. They were not in the top 4 before. Top 4 are important because those go to the playoffs. They've only won 8 of their 18 games. Seattle has 30 points. Portland has 29, which means that Seattle got one more tie than Portland has. The Orlando Pride have won 8 out of their 19 games, and they have 29 points as well, which, take it for what it's worth. So that's where things stand in National Women's Soccer League. Should be interesting coming down the wire for the bottom 3 of the 4 playoff slots. I think North Carolina Courage could, tie or lose from now on out and probably still make it. Anyway, moving on to the men in the USL in the East, FC Cincinnati is just driving on, taking everything out, destroying everybody that comes in their way. They are real this year, and this I encourage you, if you're in Cincinnati, go watch them play this year, because this year you'll be able to watch them make a championship run, really dominate, play really well, and next year when you go to the MLS, okay. But they've won 13 out of their 21 games, so they have a winning record. And Charleston Battery is the number 2 team. They've won 9 out of their 20 games, so they don't have a winning record. In the West, we have 3 teams with winning records. The Real Monarchs SC have won 13 out of their 21 games, so basically the same record as FC Cincinnati. Phoenix Rising FC has won 11 out of their 20 games, so they barely have a winning record. And Orange County SC has won 11 out of their 21 games, so they barely have a winning record. It'd be fairly tight coming down the wire, I think. Although, I don't know. Everybody talks about how real Monarchs are going to fade as time goes along. We'll see. Going to have to believe it, to see it to believe it. Moving on to the MLS, in the East, Atlanta United FC. Could you have a more generic, stereotypical name? For goodness sake. But Atlanta United FC is just whomping on everybody. And they've won 13 out of their 22 games, so they do have a winning record. New York Red Bulls are number 2 in the East. They've won 13. They've won 13 out of their 20 games. Again, have a winning record. And New York City FC has won 12 out of its 20 games. So those are the 3 teams in the East in MLS that have winning records. In the West, FC Dallas is the only team in the West that has a winning record. They've won 11 out of their 20 games. The number 2 team is LAFC, and they're at 10-10. So they're right there at the cusp. They could go forward and get a winning record. More likely, they'll end up with a upside down pretty soon. Okay, so that's it for soccer this week, folks. I really encourage you, if you've got spare time on Saturday night, kind of get on the internet and drop. Well, obviously, if you're close to where one of the games are going on in the National Premier Soccer League or the PDL, go watch it. But get on the internet and stream it and watch it. And it's interesting to watch these lower level teams. Again, don't expect miracles, but it's fun to watch. Uh, NWSL has a game every week on Lifetime. Pick it up, watch it. Daggone, drive down to doggone North Carolina and watch the North Carolina Courage play. I've done it. It's a lot of fun. I particularly like buying the seats on the pitch. Yes, I understand they're expensive, but it's a fun place to watch the sport. Um, USL, if you're close enough, go watch some of it. If you're really, really desperate, go watch some Major League Soccer and MLS. I mean, I guess there's a reason that some people go watch it. I'm not sure why. Having said all that, if you like what you see here today, hit like. If you like what you see around here generally, hit subscribe, and then go, I think it's over here, go hit that bell so that you get notifications, because apparently YouTube hasn't been showing you all the things you subscribe to. I don't know what that's all about, but I've heard people screaming about it on YouTube. If you want to contact me at Lammersk, at LAMMERSK, on Twitter, send me a direct message. If you want to leave comments, do it so down below. Promise I'll try to read all the comments. I cannot promise I will reply to them all, because this is a hobby. I love doing this hobby, but it doesn't pay me anything. And until Fox Sports decides that they're going to come along and offer me $350,000 a year to sit on TV and make a fool of myself trying to comment on sports, until that day comes, I'm going to have to work a day job, and the day job pays, and so the day job boss expects me to actually do my job. I know it's hard to believe, but sometimes it works out that way when you've got a day job. And beyond all that, folks, just got one piece of advice for you. If you got a little bit of spare time, you got a little bit of spare money, go watch some minor league sports. Have a good day now.